morning, friends. I've been thinking a lot lately about the experiences that I have with clients, and one of the things that I noticed is that several of them, especially those struggling with addiction, really struggle to connect to their feelings. They don't understand or know what they have been feeling, what they are feeling, and then that really makes it hard to know what we need to do about them. And there was this exercise that I learned when I was a new therapist, and it really is something, it was meant to be used with kids, but it's really something that I've noticed is actually pretty helpful for even grown-ups. So first thing is, if you want to do this, go get a blank piece of paper, like off your printer, out of your notebook, whatever, and you can draw, or you can even print off the shape of what a body would look like. You could stick figure it, but those are sometimes not able to be as specific. So first, get that. Get a pile of different colors of something, like colored pencils, colored markers, crayons. I don't actually care. So once you have those in place, pause it right now if you haven't gotten them yet. So get those. Then what I want you to do is list every single emotion you can think of, and preferably ones that you know that you feel: anger, sadness, happy, joy, fear, nervous, whatever the things are, as basic or as complicated as you want. Okay, got your list? All right, now what I want you to do is assign every single one of those feelings a color. So a lot of kids, anger would be red. Blue might be sad. You can follow Inside Out and follow those, or you can create your own rainbow of colors based on your own experiences. So once you've done that, then, and this is where it gets tricky, I want you to pick up that red crayon and draw on that body where you feel that feeling. A lot of kids, when I was working with kids, their anger would be in their hands, or they might be in their feet because they wanted to kick something. Sometimes their anger would be in their mouth because they would would clench their jaw when they get angry, and there were all kinds of different ones. And so identifying, like, okay, where do I feel sad, and draw it in my body. Where do I feel nervous, and draw it in my body. And I bet most of you would be able to say, oh yeah, nervous is usually the butterflies in the stomach. But this beginning exercise in being able to say, what do I feel? Where do I feel it? How do I know that that's what I'm feeling right now? And beginning to get in touch with those parts of ourselves. Because a lot of us have had experiences where feeling things or even expressing feelings hasn't been safe. So if you grew up like, oh, well, my feelings don't matter, or my family's too stressed to worry about it, so I'm just going to not say anything. And it doesn't always have to be toxic. It's just the decisions we make in response to what we're surrounded by. So being able to begin to notice, oh, I'm not feeling safe. Now, once we know what we feel, the next step is to identify what we need. And this one is just as hard, if not harder, than the feelings one. Especially if we've been detached from our needs for a long time. A lot of times when we've had environments and relationships that haven't been really attentive to our needs, and we don't have that attunement, we then learn to not have needs. And so the next piece is, how do I begin to notice and pay attention to and even identify what we need? Because then, after we know what we need, then the question is, what do we do? So for example, if I know that I need comfort or support, then I might say, okay, who are my comfort support people? Or how do I give myself comfort and support? And so being able, and there's self-care, all that stuff, but being aware to tune in and say, what is the thing I need? A couple days ago, I had a day where I had 10 sessions, and I love what I do, so it was not bad, but it was also just a long day. I think you guys have had a long day once in a while. And so on my way home, and as I'm nearing the end of my day, I start thinking of like, what do I need when I get home? And it's like this conversation of like, okay, well, do I need alone time? Do I need to snuggle with my family on the couch and watch a movie? Do I need a warm bath? Like, what is the thing that I need? And the thing is that allowed for me when I got home to be able to be proactive in making sure what I needed got met. You know, I came home, my daughter hadn't seen me in a couple hours, and she wanted to download me and was super excited. So like 45 minutes of just, hey, I get to hear about the rest of your day that I didn't hear during carpool. And then tucked everyone in. We did our family bedtime routine. And then I was like, oh, I just want to sleep. And I knew I would go to sleep quickly, but I also had some daily goals that I hadn't yet done. And I knew that what I really needed was just to like take a shower, take a soak before I did anything. And so I turned on some music, took a soak, and then did my bedtime routine myself. But if we don't tune into what we need, what we often do is we get resentful because we're not getting what we need, but we think it's someone else's responsibility. Again, back to the attunement thing, if you haven't watched that video. And so being aware that, okay, my job, what do I feel? What do I need? What do I do? What do I feel? I'll give you an example. So I have a sister who died, and I historically have not worked on grief, birth or death anniversaries of people in my family who've passed. And it was coming up on her first birthday after she died. And her birthday happened to fall during a family week at my job. And there's kind of this, I don't know if it's my own rule or if it's an unwritten rule, but kind of you don't miss family week. And her birthday fell smack on Thursday, a family week. And I knew I wasn't going to work that day. Like, there was no way I was going to be in a position to help other people when I was sitting in my pain. And I needed to honor my pain. So I said, I'm not working. And then I said, well, what am I going to do? Laying in bed all day being sad doesn't really feel like it's honoring her. And so I made a plan. So I bought a plane ticket. Wednesday night, I left work. I went straight to the airport. And I flew to Alabama. And I did a couple things. One, I went to breakfast at the place that she and I would always go to breakfast together on birthdays. I went and spent time with my best friend who had just adopted some twin girls. I went with my family to the park where we had done our last hike together as a family, and we had decided to dedicate a bench to her. And so we went and celebrated and took pictures and threw glitter and all those things to honor her. I went to lunch with two of my sisters and my parents and one of my sister's friends. I spent some time driving around with my dad in the rental car convertible that was not what I asked for, but we made the best of it. I went to the cemetery. Then I got back on the plane and I flew back, and I was at work the next day. But that would not have happened if I had not stopped to ask, what do I need? And then what do I do about it? So paying attention and just taking a moment to pause and say, what do I feel? What do I need? What do I do? Because what happens is sometimes we have multiple feelings, but boiling it down to the real most important feeling is important for us. So as we begin this journey of trying to be healthier, of being able to tune into ourselves and to be able to have healthier relationships where we're not holding resentments or responsibility on other people, if we just remind ourselves to ask, what do I feel? What do I need? And what do I do? Then we're in a much better equipped position to do something about it. I hope that helps you a little bit figure out and begin to identify what your next steps are so you can be healthier than you are today. Good luck.